you have should be publicly made transparent. So whether you use ICT to do that or you use other means, you might use a notice board in front of the ward office, you might just write it with a sketch pen on a huge chart paper, even that will serve the purpose. The focus of this quality management system model is more on the reliability of the service delivery, not on whether it is at this level or this level or this level, but reliability itself is an attribute of the service delivery. So reliability, time window being fixed and being communicated, not just being fixed internally, because inside the municipal corporation office records probably it was written down that in this area it will be available from this time to this time, but the citizens don't know about it. So fixing it internally is one part and making it transparent and known to the citizens is another part, which is the main focus of the excellence model. In terms of lessons learned, now some of those lessons are available in the form of a document which is called the user manual, which if people are interested in the details, it's available with Department of Administrative Reforms. Many new processes have been put in place, like centralized receipt of grievance, because this is now very common that you could call up a centralized number and lodge your complaint rather than having to know somebody in the municipal corporation to be able to lodge a complaint. A number of reference documents have been created. For example, in Shimla also they wanted to create a society which would manage the environment, beautification and cleanliness both together through involvement of citizens. Now, it's very easy to say that we want to do it through the involvement of citizens, but what are the nitty-gritties of actually doing it? What documentation needs to be done? What legal entities need to be created? So in their case, the way they went about creating a society called the Shimla Environmental and Heritage Beautification Society, which is SEHEB, how they went about it, what documents were prepared for, what was the trust deed, what was the resolution, memorandum of association, etc., what was done, and then how did they go about creating the organizational structure, how did they assign roles and responsibilities, job descriptions, duty charts, etc. All that documentation has been put together in the form of the user manual, and obviously that can be used as one of the requirements for implementation of a technical solution also. And in terms of a citizen-centric, being a citizen-centric reform, Department of Administrative Reforms has been in touch with Ministry of Urban Development to include fulfillment of Sivotam requirements as one of the aspects of the JNURM reform requirements. So that is about the Shimla experience. Thank you so much for your attention.
Are there any questions which we can take? Any comments? Anyone from the panel, if you want to comment something on this? Yes, ma'am. Nothing? Okay. So we can go ahead with the next presentation.
Sir, if you don't mind, can I ask her something?
Yeah, please.
Dr. Bajaj, you did mention something regarding the strategy and planning phase when you were going ahead and doing that particular exercise in Shimla. So you did mention that you thought about whether to take ICT first or do the change management or the capacity building. So can you just dwell on this thing, what the thought process was and how did you arrive at what decision you took?
Yeah. The thought process was actually, the sequence of the thought process was dictated by the Sivotam model, because that is what we want to do. We want to set service standards, we want to make them transparent. Now in their case, whether it is through technology or it is before technology, in fact one of the things they mentioned was that we need basic training, basic computer training for our people. So if they don't have basic computer training, in fact in this project, one of the things we first did was to explain to the municipal commissioner's PA how to download mails so that we could correspond with them from Delhi. So in that kind of a situation, it was very difficult to think of an ICT solution first. We had to think of the basics and to help them understand that some of the things that they are struggling with and trying to do manually, they can be done through ICT. So how do they understand, improve the manual system and move over to a technical solution so that they don't have to struggle with these kinds of things. And many of the things that they were trying to do at a local level, trying to maintain a local billing software, which is not required at all. You could, the Urban Development Department could host a software for all the municipalities in Himachal. I mean, the scale was not that much that it couldn't be done. So at what stage, what ICT intervention should come and how it should scale up from a small little prototype, Excel-based prototype to regular software, those kinds of things we had to bring into the planning stage.
So if I understand correctly, what you're saying here is that we started off with change management and trying to, put things in perspective for different people. and slowly brought in the technology in front of the people, and then there was an iterative process per se.
Yeah, precisely, and that is basically because the terms of reference is that we have to implement a quality management system. So wherever ICT is useful, we bring in ICT, but there are many other aspects of quality management that may not necessarily be directly connected to it.
In fact, I can add something over here is what we did later on when we started changing their formats, etc. And then when they were looking for an online public grievance system, we, instead of reinventing the wheel, we looked for some very good practices. Like in Guntur, they already have a online public grievance redress system. So we tried to build in that system and replicate it over here. Thank you. Yeah, is there any other question there? I think in the end somebody wanted to say something. Anything, sir? You would like to say something?
Yes, firstly, one query has been in terms of set of service level agreements being signed with the service providers. Any kind of service level agreements being signed with the service provider?
In fact, here we did not go in for a PPP model. The service was being provided by the municipality only. So, service level agreements are when you are providing with the private vendor and you tell them that, okay, you have to provide this service at this level. But here the service is being provided by the government municipality itself. Now here, in the end, we had helped them to get their service standards. For example, for garbage collection, we said, okay, the frequency, which was daily. In a pilot ward, we said, okay, daily the garbage will be collected, and the time for collection of garbage, that was also defined from 8 to 9. Okay, that thing was there. That thing was being announced for that ward. So here, the mere announcement becomes a service level agreement with the citizens. There is no punishment or anything that if you don't meet this. This is just a voluntary thing. But even the fact that it is being announced, it's also a very big step forward in this direction.
And it's commendable. But going forward, I believe the roadmap would be to scale up and to improve the services. And when you have set standards like that, then ideally you would like to monitor and manage and audit the kind of service level agreements which have been either say for any municipalities agreed with their service provider, or the ULB themselves are committing to the citizens. So ideally there has to be some kind of accountability through these SLAs, and which need to be monitored and managed by the agency. So that's what we possibly feel that ICT needs to provide these kind of
yeah, definitely, whatever you are saying is absolutely correct. What we have done in Shimla, that is just a first step.
Yeah.
But ultimately that step goes to what you are saying. There has to be a service level agreement. In fact, in morning we had that presentation by NDMC where they have said that, okay, the punishment will be there. But look from the point of the employee. If you are not empowered, or if you do not have the capacity to deliver it within a day, or within the prescribed thing which you have told, and then on top of it then you are punished, then it's wrong. You have to go a step, you have to take the first step first. First get your house in order, first become capable of delivering it in time, and then go in for a next step, which is having a service level agreement. Doing it in a PPP mode is easier. Like for example in the passport, they have totally outsourced it to TCS. So TCS, they have a service level agreement. It is up to, they have to ensure that the passport will be delivered in 15 days or something. But over here, the situation is different. Here you are yourself saying that you will be able to give it within, let's say, any birth certificate in 2 days. Let's say if you are doing it. So, first thing, you should have your systems in order.
Agreed.
Okay.
And then it's a step in the
This is
right
the first
direction.
step, and it's a step in the right direction. Ultimately, what we are aiming to do is to go to that path using the Sevota model. And the Sevota model is a good approach. It's a focused approach which will ultimately take you to the path of continuous improvement.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
I would
you.
just like to, I think, point out one more thing, is that when you say that in PPP model there is a service, there is a system integrator or